Hey guys, great screening of your film. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about the film that we just watched. It was so entertaining. I want other people to be able to see it again.
All right, thank you. My name is Thomas Wirtenson. I'm from Austria, and I'm the director of Homme Less.
And I'm Mark Ray, and I am the subject and collaborator with this Austrian fellow in Homme Less.
So Thomas and Mark, tell us, how did it come to be that a subject about homelessness is so lighthearted and fun and entertaining and fashionable?
Well, I don't think it's all lighthearted in the film. There are some parts. It's a New York story, and it has, it's in the glamour of the New York lifestyle, and that gives it this lightheartedness maybe, but it has its dark moments, I think. And
well, Derek, for me, it's a revelation, revealing of my entire being, and I always considered not having a place to sleep at night in New York for 5 years plus was not a significant portion of my being, but I knew it was an interesting portion of my being. So for me, it's a portrait of a very dynamic life. And so if it's lighthearted, it's because that's probably my character, and despite all those obstacles.
Yeah, you certainly keep your sense of humor. Either that or you're an actor auditioning for your next
It's
role.
better than crying. Laughing.
Well said. And Thomas, it's such a self-assured, incredibly masterful documentary feature debut. Can you tell us a little bit about your past experience that prepared you for this?
well, I have a fashion background. We met actually in the late 80s in Vienna, both working in fashion as male models. And then I just continued into photography and videography and commercial work in fashion, but also in other corporate work, I would say.
And it's so odd because although we did know each other in the 80s for maybe 2 years, it was before the internet, so for 10 years, the 90s, we just dropped out, and by chance I showed up in Austria because I was foolish enough to start modeling again as a 40-year-old man. And in 2000 I went to a gym in Austria that was recommended to me by my agency. And it literally, I was doing sit-ups on a mat, and when I turned to my left, the fellow that was sitting there doing sit-ups turned to his right, and it was him.
Yeah, reenact that for us.
Here we go. It's you.
Oh no.
Let's make a documentary.
You again.
But that was before we had any interest in filmmaking. I wasn't a photographer then.
So, what is the next step for this film, and where can people see it next if they missed it at Sarasota?
Yes, well, it's gonna show on a few other festivals in Israel and maybe some in summer here. But it's gonna have a theatrical release in New York at the IFC Center in September, and a limited theatrical release all over the States. We don't know exactly where and when, but...
I've got a great idea for you. I think you should submit it to Rooftop Films.
We already, actually, yes, there is a Rooftop Film Festival in New York. And,
just not on Mark's rooftop.
Right,
no.
Please.
The one
No, that's, yeah.
But all the information you can get on the website of Homme Less, so it's www.homme with a double M, less with a hyphen in between.com. And there's also a Facebook page, also Homme with a hyphen less
Yeah, we're
in
French,
Facebook.
which is an interesting title because it's, if it were a total translation, it might be homme moins, meaning man, less of a man. And, if you see the film, the character in the film often doubts his self-worth. And, it's a great title. It's really not a film about being homeless. I joke, I say I'm an urban camper. I'm not homeless, but I'm a survivor, and I think that's what the film is really about. It's the will to live and do as you wish,
and be resourceful.
And whatever it takes.
And not get pushed out by the circumstances and the harsh life, the the expensive life in New York, where the rents get higher and higher, and a lot of people have to leave because they cannot afford to live there anymore. And Mark is an example where he says, no, I'm not going to leave. I'm going to be creative. It's not everybody's thing, right?
Yeah.
But
there's no violent soundtracks.
no, it's not a romantic film. It's not a romantic scenario, not at all.
But I think it's a joyous film, and just the power to survive. And it's not a film. I mean, obviously, I'm not a man that's at fault or guilty of criminal past or mental illness or any of that. It's I've just kind of got lost in my way in living, but still found a way to have a nice life.
You're a very talented photographer, so
thank you.
I hope that goes well for you both. We wish you all the best.
Thank you.
And I hope
Thank you
that
for
you
having
see
us.
this wonderful movie. It's a very fun New York story as well. It's a beautiful travelogue of New York. They take us to a lot of incredible locations, but the best is seeing the skyline from Mark's swanky penthouse pad. So
He's looking at the American dream.
Yeah.
Can't touch it. All right, thank you so much.